Welcome to this, and I am your host, Venerati. Today, I'm really excited to be bringing you a top-tier player, namely Haypro. Of course, he is a Team Liquid member, been so for quite some time, really well-known Brood War player. And we have him going up against STX, spawning as the Blue Terran, and we are on Jungle Basin. And I gotta like Jungle Basin. Why do I like Jungle Basin? Well, it's kind of weird because you've got this center island that you can occupy, and there's, of course, 4 ramps on this center island. But you've got these lowlands through here, which, if you watch the pathing of this, well, this SCV actually isn't going to go scout, but later on, whenever they do choose to go scout, you'll see the weird pathing they take, because they generally will come down, skirt around, and go, and you don't really see units, yeah, there we go, natively take the high ground up here. All of which adds for a lot because the side expansions over here actually are one big chain right to this destructible rocks, which is to your back natural, which I love this natural right here because it's just so nice, warm, and cozy, especially if you just put like a barracks or if you put something back here, a pylon or whatever it is that you are able to use, and just keep an eye and know what's going on. Either way, we do have STX in the base looking for this hatch to go down, but is not coming down. We actually do see the drone coming for the hatch. We're gonna see an engineering bay go down for STX. That's kind of oh man, that's brutal. The engineering bay, cheap, but it's really thick. We'll just call it thick. Yeah, look at that, 850. Did get to 850. However, now Haypro is going to be forced to bring out the Zerglings before he's going to be able to down this and be able to get his expansion. So, let's see. Take a click. Well, come on. There we go. Yeah, he's at 16. So, generally, he was looking to get it at 13, 14 hatch. But now he's going to be forced to get it at 18 plus. However, for STX, it looks like he's going to wall up. Probably going to put another supply depot right here. Yes, we do see the supply depot going down. And we do have another SCV coming out here. Looks like it's going to try to finish up what the other SCV could not do, as we do actually see more drones coming over here to add their DPS to that little destruction show over there. We do see a Roach Warren coming down for Haypro. And this engineering bay is not looking so great, as we do have this SCV coming over here. What is he going to do? Yes, he does start to build on it again. The drones are going to try to snipe him. He sees that and he starts to run away, as we do have the Zerglings showing up over here. It looks like STX is going to be forced to cancel it. Yes, we do see him actually cancel that building. Meanwhile, he is building up his forces over here. Just a couple Marines. Haven't seen him do much of anything yet. He is queuing up the command center, so he is going to choose to expand before he actually starts teching up, as he will be holding the door here. Now, this does kind of leave him vulnerable to an early Baneling bust, as the supply depots really are still wafer thin. They've been buffed in the past, but they're still wafer thin. Of course, they're more than enough to keep these Zerglings out. But whenever you start to see the Baneling nests come down and they start running up that ramp, they just walk right through that all day long. We do see Metabolic Boost coming on for LiquidHaypro, and we do see the hatch finally was able to be thrown down. And it looks like actually they'll be expanding about the same time. The hatch got down about 10 seconds ahead of this command center. However, it's a pretty pivotal part of a lot of Zerg players' builds is to get that early hatch. I myself like getting the early hatch. It gives you more larvae. It sets you up for populating the natural anyway. And it just all around puts you in a good place. If you one base it, you're forced to basically just wait on these eggs. And it's not a pretty place to be, as if you don't attack really, really soon, your production capacity is just going to be nothing. It's going to be a shadow of your enemy, especially, if you have 3 racks down. Those 3 racks will be pumping a crap ton of units out. You're going to have a hard time dealing with that if you're one-basing it. So, LiquidHaypro had to deal with that engineering bay. That's actually pretty. I haven't seen too many people use engineering bays. I mean, I throw a bunker down and put a Marine in it, or you generally see a pylon thrown down. Either way, though, put LiquidHaypro off his game. His timing will be off just slightly. I mean, he's a good enough player to be able to deal with it, obviously. But, every little bit counts, as we do see STX actually getting a factory before he gets anything else. So we're going 1 right now. Is he going to go for a starport? Not so sure about that. We are about to find out. And actually, as getting the stim pack, and yes, he is actually going to be getting the starport, so he is doing a 1-1-1 right now. Really, it's a good place to be as a Terran player because you can spool off of this build really easily and tech into whatever you want. And we do see these Zerglings, once again, probing the ramp right there, trying to figure out what exactly is going on. Meanwhile, we do have a Baneling nest coming up for Haypro, and he is doing a really good job of populating this natural, as it was a little bit late, but a little better late than never. As we do see the hatchery morphing into a lair, and bloosh, there we go. That's a really weird effect, but either way, we do see the mules down for STX. Let's take a look at the income tab real quick. We are pretty close harvester count-wise. STX is 5 behind, but as far as income-wise, he's able to keep pace with Liquid easily due to these mules. Ooh, excuse me. Either way, take a look at the production tab, as we do have an Overseer coming on. And yes, the Overseer is right there. It's going to be running into the base, going to be trying to snipe a view of what's going on. We do see the infestation pip, so Haypro could be going for a early, he's going to be going straight for a hive, or he could actually be using the infestors, as the infestors are really good at locking down these bio balls, as the fungal growth will just tear into them. And really, it's a bad place to be as a Terran player if your bio ball gets hit by a fungal growth, because not only are you taking that basically that tick damage, but then you've got a flood of Zerglings running around and getting that nice surround that is so pivotal for them to actually be useful, and then you're kind of boned. So right now we are seeing a really heavy macro right now, as we haven't seen much in the way of engagements. And look at all this technology. We got centrifugal hooks, we've got the pathogen glands, we've got the glial reconstitution, and we have carapace level 1 coming down. And we have combat shields and ground infantry weapons level 1. Wow, stumbling all over myself. And we have the armory. So are we going to see some Thors, or are we just going to see some upgrades from that for the tanks? As we do see STX with the tanks coming out, and we do see the medevacs. So there are going to be medevacs. There we go. And we actually see armor 1 coming down as well. So we have the 2 engineering bays going at the same time. So heavy macro, as we do see 2 more racks coming down. So he will be having 3 racks, as he is pretty much fully populated right there at the natural. Well, he could stand a few more there, but meanwhile, Haypro is going to go for even more macro, and he is going to be getting the other 2 expansions right here, skirting around the edge, not choosing to go for the center, as this is really where you see a lot of the battling going on, people sitting up here on the ramps and waiting for passerbys. And there we go, we do see the infestors. We don't see the neuroparasite. Neuroparasite is really effective, especially when you have Thors. Tanks can be effective as well, but it's kind of hard to get to the tanks themselves. With that, though, the Thors are just huge beacons, and just asking for the neuroparasite to be launched at them. Meanwhile, the ground weapon for vehicles are being taken on as well, as we do see an army starting to amass here, but we are 12 minutes into the game, and we really haven't seen that much. We do have the Viking running around and picking off stray overlords, as it does have 3 kills so far. Now, both of Haypro's new expansions have come online. We're not seeing, well, we're seeing a small transfer right there. However, we do have STX balling up inside of his base, still pulling out, trying to get that nice bio ball mix going on that we see right here. And we do see another command center being formed right there. We don't see any Thors right now, though. I really would feel like he would have gotten Thors at this point, as Thors are super effective. And you generally see Mutalisk on the field by this time from most Zerg players. This Mutalisk just a pain in the rear to fight. I mean, I personally love them, because I play Zerg a lot, but just going up against that Mutalisk harass, if you can lock the Mutalisk down, they're very vulnerable. But whenever you hit critical mass, when you just really get that huge flock of freaking flying T-Rexes running around, yeah, it gets real painful real quick, but it's getting there. And whether you use them in a guerrilla fashion, or if you try to make them fight the stand-up battles, We see XTS spreading out his tanks, deploying them, trying to create a screen. His command center almost finishing. It looks like he's going to try to take this expansion right there. As we also have another ball of STX forces over here. We'll be getting extra fungal growth right there, as we do see the Zergling trying to surround. There are not enough to get a full surround. However, we have a lot of roaches here, and we have a lot of infestors. The infestors will continue to lock these units down, as we do see the rest of the all the ground forces basically dying off there. And we do have the medevacs retreating, but there were no anti-air units there, so the medevacs were not in any sort of damage. We have more units getting locked down by these infestors. We do have banelings in there, so one baneling is going to get in there, another baneling is going to get in there, and we see all of those units die. So LiquidHaypro right now doing really good, as he has a nice ground force right here. Let's go take a look at the army tab. As yeah, he has a pretty sizable lead right now, as he is sitting about 30. Meanwhile, STX is going to be building back up, as STX does have quite a few production facilities, as he has 5 racks now, and 1 starport and 1 factory. So it looks like he's not going to be going heavy mech or heavy air. He is going to be staying with the rack units. Never mind. He does have 2 factories, so I was incorrect about that. However, we do have STX moving out once again. We see a fungal growth going down on all of these bio units right there, getting locked down. They are not considered massive units, as the massive units will be able to break free of that, such as Thors. And we do have these Zerglings flooding in here, trying to get us around. More fungal growth going down on all of these units, as we do see the banelings showing up, mixed in there with the roaches. We do see a little bit of micro from STX trying to back off of those banelings, as we see a lot more fungal growth right here on this little group. This is going to be pretty